Today on Business Basics, we're going to be talking about a couple subjects here. So we're going to be hitting up on notes, reminders, and tasks. Really, also this comes down to the centralization of information and why this is really important for a business that's using, business-based or not. So one of the things that we provide in our business-based software is the ability to store your tasks, notes, and reminders in there and keep them all separate. It's really important to understand that when you're operating or trying to lead, you don't want to have things overlapping or have a hard time trying to find out where your information is or be able to effectively share everything and not have to take so much time. So one of the things that I'm a really big fan of is separating out tasks and reminders. This sounds pretty trivial, but it's really important to me as a team lead that I have the ability to just simply get something that dings me in the morning and says, hey, you need to check in with this group because they asked you for help. I don't necessarily want that to be a task. I don't want to go checking in, mark it off as complete. I just want it sort of checking in with me and letting me know. So our reminder section really allows you to build up a lot of that stuff and not have it clutter up everything that's in your way with the other processes and tasks and jobs that you're actually working on. So one of the things that I know is that you use tasks and notes quite frequently for other information. Can you maybe describe to us why it matters to you and your team to be able to use it on a centralized platform, even though, tasks and note applications aren't really anything new or magical and we didn't reinvent the wheel and make the best ones, but we really focused on centralizing it for the business purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I love about it is everything's in one spot. I can sign into my business space account and I can look at my tasks, and I have assigned either the user that's working on the task or the team that is working on the task. So if I have a task for my marketing department, I can assign that straight to the marketing department and everyone in that department can see that task versus just having to assign it to a user. And then what I can do from there is in the subtasks, we can have a list of what needs to be accomplished, and then I'm able to check in and see where we're at in that process. And then we're able to add comments and notes to be able to mark down what happened, say we're behind schedule, we can keep track in the comments of why we're behind schedule and what we're gonna do to meet the schedule.
Yeah, it really also helps that when you think about something as simple as it's a task system. There's tons that come free with almost every mobile phone. They're available on almost every operating system. The big thing for us is we wanted to make sure that tasks were available from the top to the bottom of a company structure. And that allows teams to be able to go back and forth. One of the things that actually happens within our company is there's very common times that we actually have team members tasking the CEO things. And it makes it a lot easier for those team members to understand where the CEO is at or where the CEO understands where the team is at. So it's really not about the overarching monitoring and checking on people. It's the ability for that two-way conversation to be able to really traverse the whole entire company in a centralized manner that doesn't make it different for everyone, or you have to gain access to this or be able to do those type of things. And really what's important about it is it really focuses on that transparency, trust, and respect aspect that businesses really need to have foundationally in their culture. Because all of us want to work at places where information is available, easy to access, easy to understand, and being able to communicate that quickly is really important. That's also why we were made sure to include a notes function within the tools just to be able to give everyone sort of a full piecemeal of what type of tools they need. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that your team definitely takes advantage of centralized information a lot more. And can you tell us about what it was sort of like before you used Business-Based with centralized information?
So before we adopted the centralized information strategy, we had a bunch of different folders and a bunch of different files, and quite frankly, a bunch of headaches when we were trying to find something. So what happened is people were structuring things based on what they believed was best, and everyone was different. So say we had a promotion and someone else was stepping up into the spot, a lot of the time would be teaching people how they use the process and how they almost had to kind of think how the other person thought to be able to navigate through their notes. Well, having it all central in one place is, okay, so all of my software development notes inside of my management is in one spot now. So I can go and I can reference the one area inside Business Space, find that one folder, and everything's there.
Absolutely. That subject-based discussion model is really much more productive. When you're just storing everything on a subject in a centralized place, it makes it a lot easier for someone to pick up where you left off. Where if people have to spend time figuring out what someone else did to translate it into how they're going to do it, it's just more time consumed. So our ability to really get to that subject, the meat and potatoes, and just get to work is really much more important, especially when we're trying to do things like move our team forward, advance understanding, complete our objectives, our key results, and feed into that company's overarching goals. Because, you know, the reason we're all here is because we want to contribute and move forward and advance in everything that's going on, from our work to our life. And these are just great ways to look at doing that type of thing.